Stuart cut my hair.
Stuart cut your hair.
I had a hair.
We should say he always cuts your hair. This is not like the first time.
Well, it's only the second time.
Oh.
But yeah, no, this is
Okay.
I had a hairstylist, lest yours think that I'm destitute, although I am. I am that too. But she got another job, and anyway, I don't have her anymore. So I decided I was just gonna start doing stuff myself. So like my hair, I'm not Christy or our friends. My hair is just brown. If it's summer, it'll be like less brown as far as I go. So that was an easy fix there. Uh, box dye. But then the cut was a thing, and I typically don't care that much about my hair at all. I never have. Like it doesn't.
I think this is common for people who have good hair. Like, it grows fast, you have thick hair, so, like, you don't need to care about it, you know?
I've had one haircut. I'll put a picture up because I just recently found it. That was terrible. And the context was I was in China for my semester abroad, and I needed to get my hair cut. Well, let it be known that the people of China had never seen hair like mine before. It is thick, it's wavy, it's big, like it's its own thing. There is a picture of it's also very tangly. Two Chinese men trying to comb my hair out at the same time. And but then they started cutting it, and they cut it in what I can only describe as the most angular mullet of all time. So the front bit was, like, kind of where my hair is now, but then imagine I had it was a mullet. It was a Chinese mullet. It was just,
So
like, down the back.
oh my gosh. That's that's
Like, it was like if, what's that architect that's in Chicago? Frank Lloyd Wright? It would be like if he designed a haircut. Like, it was just, like, so, like, abrasively sharp. So then I get back to the dorm where the rest of the Americans are, and they just laugh hysterically at me. But, like, not in a way of, like I mean, I think it was mocking, but it was also just pure shock.
it's just like, "This is bad."
Yeah, like and there was no, like it wasn't like I looked at it and thought, "Oh, well, maybe." Like, I just went in pointing to my head saying, "Look what they did to my hair."
Yeah.
And everybody started laughing. So I was like, "Okay." It was really bad. And then I went to the bathroom and I took the back of my hair. I took some scissors from the kitchen and I just cut the mullet part off. So then I just had this severe angular hair for a while. But Christy is quite right, is that if you've got yeah, that's the only one, and that one was bad.
Yeah.
It's fixable, but it was
Yeah.
bad. And
Like, I
I
don't have good hair, and I've had many bad haircuts, and it takes a lot of effort, my hair. So, like, I would never.
I mean, there are certain things that I'm insecure about. It's not all things, but the head is not.
Yeah, your hair's great. Yeah.
Thank you.
So Stuart just cut your hair one
Stuart
person.
sat me down in a chair in the kitchen, cut my hair, just just went straight across. Well, actually, I will say he tried to angle it. If you can kind of
I
see,
see that he tried.
he like angled it. So like he gets on YouTube and watches. And I just told him, I said, in 2 weeks' time, it'll be down to here. I was like, so it doesn't like you just go, just do you. Uh,
So so you didn't say, like, "Here's how long I want it to be." You just said,
I mean, I did. I said, I I think I said longer than this, but at the end of the day,
"It's
what do you get?
yeah."
You can't. Well, you're to cry about it.
I no, I mean, it's much shorter than I've ever seen you have your hair before, but it is cute. I like it.
thanks. I mean, like, if he had gone, like, here, I think I'd have been like I would've went into panic mode, but, like, it's fine. I I just looked what I did I will say, there is some, breaks in me at times. I looked in the mirror and I was like, "Oh my god." I said he said, "That's where you said to cut it." I said, "I mean, maybe, but whoa, okay, okay, that's pretty short." And then, of course, Stuart's very emotional
Yeah,
in this way
a lot
where
of empathy.
he wants me to be happy, which is a great
Yeah,
characteristic, lots of empathy.
certainly.
But I was just like, "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh." And, and I'm hyper aware of his feelings towards my feelings, and so I usually try to, like, temper them a little bit, but I just was like, "Oh god. Oh my god. Oh my god." And then I said, "I think I'm having a panic attack." And he goes, "It's really cute. You look really cute." I said, I know. It's just a lot to take in. I have to take it in." And so it's like going to a firefighter while you're on fire and saying, "I'm fine." Like, this is a
Well, it's like,
we're good.
both trying to make the other one happy in that moment.
He's sweet, it just was psychotic because I was just I'm here, like, leaning on a table, like, "Oh my god. Okay, it's okay, it's great, it's good, we're doing good, we're doing good, we're doing good." And he's like, "You like it, do you like it, do you like it, do you like it, you like" and I was like, "We're not helping each other right now, we're not helping each."
This is so funny. I love it. I mean, I think it's really cute. I think it looks very I don't know how else to say this, but, like, very fresh.
It needed I do this periodically where I'll just chop it off, and part of that is because, while I do have good hair, it gets annoying after a while, like, I don't want it was getting too long, it was getting, like,
Yeah.
Mormon housewife.
I have other friends who have hair that grows not at a snail's pace like mine does, and, like, it's thick and all, and they get kind of similarly will just one day be like, "I just chopped it off," and, like, I have to tell you, if I cut my hair that short, I would be like, that's for most people, that would be like, I cut bangs.
Oh,
If my hair was that short, that would be what was you'd be like, put her on watch," 'cause
wrong.
'cause it takes my hair years to grow, like, years. This is, like, a drastic
Oh, wow.
it is my hair is so slow, and so
Yeah, mine was probably
there's, like,
sweet
very
spot.
little room for error with my hair, you know? Yeah, you cut off a lot. We'll put up some
Yeah, it was probably
We'll show a picture of the hair.
like a foot plus, a little bit more, but that was probably, like, 8, 9 months worth of a growth, I would guess,
I have
like,
never had a foot of hair to cut off.
it's quite shocking, to be fair, when you do it. It is odd.
My, one of my best friends, Matthew Kruger, decided to grow his hair out to donate, like a year ago, and he used to be a weatherman, so he used to be, like, very clean cut, and he's had the same haircut since we were 18 years old, and so I went to visit Colorado, this would have been a year ago, and we were getting,
You sent me the
uh,
picture, I remember.
dinner. I lost my entire mind. Really, I turned around, his wife came first, and she tapped me on the shoulder, and she was like, "Hi," and I was like, "Hi," and then I looked over, and I literally went, "Oh, no." S Really loudly in the restaurant, it was horrifying. But he grew that out in, like, 6 months or something and then cut it off and was like, "Alright, bye," and I was like, "I hate all of you. My hair takes so long."
Yeah, like, the girl that did my hair for my wedding, she dyed it, like, a shade darker than this, and so my hair looks really dark in my wedding pictures. Um, and my aunt was just like, "Oh, goodness," and I just was like, "Eh." And, like, at that stage, you were like and you when you have a wedding, uh, as one day you will, and I will get to be there and watch it, and I can't wait. It's almost like having children, how people will tell you but it's just because they want you to go through the torture that you go but anyway, at that stage, if anything small had happened that in my day to day would have been, like, totally fine, um, anything small that happened leading up to the days of that wedding, it was, like, catastrophic events,
Oh, yeah.
and this girl dyed my hair a whole ass darker color than what it was supposed to be, and I just was like, "It's fine."
Well,
It
okay. I mean, I wasn't
Yeah,
invited to your wedding, but
I didn't a running joke. Every year we talk about 2 events that we were not invited to. There was a dance party that Christy was at that I wasn't in the country for, and then there was my wedding, which I didn't even know Christy at the time.
but I
And we and our friends from Glasgow love to talk about both of these events, and now it's the running joke that it's because the other one wasn't they're pitting us.
why didn't you invite me to your wedding, Leah? It's so rude. It's just
I don't know.
but,
But yeah, so I had
look great.
I've
So
yeah, like I what so there's a wedding picture on the wall, which is like why I keep looking there. I had I had gone to a pool pre-party that, one of my, honorary aunts had thrown for the Scottish people because she was like, "Oh my god, it's a pool that they can they can go to." She has, like, a tiki bar and everything. So, like, all of our friends were there that we know and love, but I got sunburnt a little on my shoulders, and yeah, and I had a strapless dress, and I mean, this is, like, 2 days before, there was nothing to be done, and I just cried.
yeah,
I
yeah, no.
I
I've had I mean, the majority of my friends are married now, and I've gone through all of their weddings with them for the most part, and yeah, there's, like, stuff that will happen, and you're just like, "This would not normally be a meltdown, but now it's a meltdown."
gosh, me getting sunburnt, now it's like luckily makeup exists. Yeah, so and also, my hair looked absolutely fine. It looked
Your hair looks great, yeah.
yeah, so I don't
I just kind of always assumed that was your natural color, to be honest. I was like,
I don't know what my natural color is anymore. I guess it's a shade of brown.
"Same."
Honestly, it probably was closer to what my shade was, which is why she matched it that way, but,
Uh,
who knows? I mean, it's like,
no, I haven't
what's your hair
natural
color?
color in decades,
Yeah,
and nor will I, because I hated it, but I can't remember what it looks like. But also there's a 0% chance that I'm gonna try to see it.
I mean, my hair's gray now anyway, so I don't know the true color
I'm
exists anymore.
I yeah, I it's a shade of brown. I know that my hair is a shade of brown, and I know that I didn't like it, and I started dyeing it in high school and have never looked back. So,
Yeah, mine is a shade of brown too, and in fact, she made it kind of a nicer shade of brown. Like, it was like a more interesting shade because like, there's nothing interesting about this brown right now, but,
the only thing I can say is that I know that my hair is not it's a light shade of brown, so it's kind of that medium, like, almost dark blonde that just kinda looks, bad. Like, it's like the worst possible shade of brown, so kind of
if only we were men and we could just shave our heads and then be done with
I
it.
had a friend who shaved her head, and she tried to convince me. She was like, "Christy, do it. It's so liberating." And I was like, No."
A man or a very brave woman or anybody that's honestly, I would say anyone who shaves their head is brave.
Yeah. 'Cause you never
Uh,
know, like, what does your scalp look like? And is it got weird lumps and you know?
it I know that I have a giant birthmark on my head,
Oh,
so
okay.
because my mom told me. Not
Uh,
that I've ever seen it.
I was like, "How do you know?"
'Cause she would, like, pick through it's back here,
Yeah.
so she would, like, pick through my hair and just be like, "There it is, there's the Stuart mite,"
Oh my
and I was
that's funny.
yeah, so best not to do that on my but, I mean,
Yeah.
I have planned on it, so I'll go full Natalie Portman and just unless the speaking of our podcast today, unless the rebellion continues and I'm just like, I'm done with everything, and I'm getting close, so guys, welcome to Theology on the Rocks, where today we talk
No, it
about
works.
wait, welcome to Hairstyles with Christy and Leah.
It's theology and cosmetology. Cosmetology on the rocks. It's the new
Cosmetology
yeah.
on the Rocks, whereby Christy and I, both messaged each other and said, "We have to record today, of course, and we want to, and we're so excited."
Oh,
But all we have Christy says, "All I have is beer and or sorry, seltzer and wine." And I said, "All I have is seltzer and wine."
yep. So we're
And
having
we're having
seltzer and wine.
wine spritzers because we were like,
Spritzers.
"That's what we
Wait,
got. Let's do it."
can I ask you, like, how did you do it? What was your method here of,
It was very scientific.
like,
Uh,
did you, like, half and half or
yeah, yeah.
okay.
That's why it's in this big yeah.
You should know. Okay.
I'm gonna take a picture of this because it's too funny.
You know that A, I don't drink white wine, so the only option I had was red.
Yeah.
And B, the only seltzers I have are the Truly lemonade. There's another life here that are so gross. And I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go, but so I
Well,
put
Christian, it plays on it looks good. Looks
it
really
look
good.
it's like 75 seltzer, 25 wine because I felt like
Oh.
I was like, I don't know, this feels like a cup of wine feels I don't know. I just panicked, honestly. And I was like,
I always used to get well, as, our friend Helen will tell you, I used to get pints of wine when we would go to shows.
yeah.
Just but basically just 2 wines in Scotland anyway, because,
I mean, I could drink
I didn't wanna
a whole glass of wine. That's not an issue. It's more of like, am I gonna put this much wine with seltzer that is not so I'm
well, part of your thing is your seltzer's not good, so, like, did I send you the picture? So I have white wine from a box, and then a blood orange seltzer, which arguably my seltzer's better than the wine I bought.
honestly, that sounds like it will probably be very tasty.
Oh, it is. I've already drank it.
Have you?
So
I'm gonna taste this. I haven't yet. So here, cheers.
cheers.
So scared.
Have you never had a spritzer before?
No, I
To be
have just this particular spritzer feels.
good.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's lemonade with wine, and it's
Well,
red wine.
that's what you did.
You did this welcome.
Most students tell you exactly what they did.
Cocktails.
Students tell you exactly what they did. They're like, "Why did I get this grade?" And then they tell you exactly what you did, and you're like, "And that's why you got that grade." What? This tastes like lemonade and red wine. Well,
I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever had.
oh, okay.
It's no redneck martini.
I feel like that's our standard now for just like
It is.
terrible.
I feel like that is my standard. Like my go-to. This is the worst thing I've ever had is that redneck martini. But
Yeah.
um,
This guy's good.
it's not bad. I'm
I
not
think the
upset.
white wine is probably better with the
Yes.
seltzer.
And I have in the past made white wine spritzers. Um, and they're very good usually. I've just never done it with red. And
Well, too, I will say that, yeah, I mean, I did Google because you at first said beer. I have beer and wine, and I knew I only do Drew. Yeah, well, but can you combine beer and wine? And the AI was just like, "You really shouldn't." Like, the AI for seltzer wine was like, "Here are some things you can do. It's called a spritzer." And then I need you to just do the AI Google thing for beer and wine, and it just is telling you about how bad your hangover is gonna be. It's, like, advising you against it.
do you know that I used to believe this genuinely when I was in my 20s? I thought that the best way to avoid a hangover was to drink beer and wine together, not in the same cup, but like you would start with beer and then you would have wine because I thought because like there's a Rent song. I was basing this entirely off of the musical Rent
Seems legit.
where they are drinking beer and wine, and instead of realizing that A, most of them are drinking one or the other,
Crack.
B, these are probably not the people that I need to be following into the dark, right?
I love that they were, like, a collection of people, and they were drinking beer and wine, and you thought that they were drinking it to get, like,
And
lighting one
this
hand.
Also that this is like a good idea. Like, oh yes, you should drink beer and wine together. That's how you should do things. Like, so I did. I would drink beer and wine. Like, I would drink beer first, have like a beer or two, and then I would switch to red wine and then live
How
life. But
epic. The internet
in my
says
20s,
you should
so I
feel
was fine.
you should feel terrible. What?
I was in my 20s, so I was fine.
Oh,
I was young. I was Brian.
of course. So that is like, yeah. But older, you're like, "Oh, no." Yeah. No, I mean, we did when I worked in the bars in the UK, they have a thing called I think it's a snake bite, and it's like, I think cider and beer, like, you can mix that.
Oh,
It's specific, it's like, I think Guinness, I don't know, you bartenders can correct me, but, maybe Guinness and
listener,
Crown Soda.
what it is. What's a snake bite? We're not gonna Google it.
I'm not. I'm too taxed. Too um, so you can do that.
Okay.
Oh, but yeah, well, when I tried to do beer and wine, it was just like if the internet could have had a giant, like, X
Like,
of
don't do that.
through that, it was kind of the same as if I'd Googled if I jumped from the Empire State Building, how will that
Don't do
well,
that.
don't do that. I feel like that's what the beer and wine combo was. So we moved on from that fairly quickly.
Thank goodness. That's probably for the best.
Yeah, I'm glad. Christy, I'm getting snow again this weekend. Can I come to your house?
You could, but we are also potentially getting snow.
And that's how you know the world is done with us. Speaking of our
Florida
topic
might
today.
actually get snow, which is a horrific thing to say and to think. It's the high on Sunday is 45 degrees. And I know that for winter states that's not the worst, but like Florida people cannot handle that. And B,
45 is cold for North Carolina, I wouldn't like that.
45 in Florida feels so much worse than 45 in most states because the humidity is so bad that it's like a bone cold. Like it's gonna stab me right through the heart. So I'm trying to figure out how to train Penny in 2 days to pee in the toilet because I don't wanna go outside.
I last week was fine because I had nothing. We had no plans, I had nothing. This weekend, I'm supposed to take care of my friend's animals, which includes a dog.
Oh,
I've never been more so sad
yeah,
to both own and know people who own dogs.
yeah.
Because it's a real disparity about the snow. Um, cat v dog. And then, Stuart and I have there's a thing called Queen City Feast, which is basically like a week of it's like restaurant week, and you get, like, 3 courses for, um, like,
Yeah,
40 bucks. It's a good deal, basically.
yeah.
So we're due to do that at the weekend too. And so I'm like, nothing happened, and then everyone's like, "Well, it's don't be fooled. It's not like last weekend. It's gonna," and I'm like, "Why is it gonna be real this time?"
My favorite
Had
is that you
75 oxes of wine.
Oop. Did you get more soup though? Oh, maybe a little trim.
Well, but then I forgot like, "No, it goes back on."
Oh, yeah.
Mm,
Did you get more soup is my
gosh,
no.
I haven't even gone to the we haven't we had I don't like going to the grocery store in the midst of all of this because it just feels like I'm on, what was that, Mad Max? In that movie. I'm just like, "Eh." It was funny because I was doing a podcast, it was yesterday with the systematic ecologist, and there's, a guy there named Andy who's from Pittsburgh, or sorry, Philadelphia,
Oh,
and, he was telling me I was like, he's a very kind person, and I said, "I know you guys are making fun of us up there or whatever," and he was like, "No," he said, "It's, you know, you don't have everyone loves to say the infrastructure. I've heard infrastructure so many times in, like, the past week, and I'm like, "You know what I think it is more than the infrastructure? I think it's that we just don't wanna get a snowplow because 'cause we're admitting defeat." Like, I don't think we wanna admit to ourselves that it ever gets that cold, so if we buy a snow plow,
Had a snowplow on hand, you would have to admit that they
but
might be used.
it might be used.
Yeah,
Right, and so I
but
think we're just
that's upsetting. I can understand that.
people get upset about down here, uh, but he just laughed because I was like I mean, he's right, it is and I mean, North Carolina at least probably has a snowplow, I'm sure Florida has
Nothing.
nothing.
Florida has nothing. Although I did see one of my friends sent me a video of some people in Atlanta, quote unquote, salting the roads, and it was
Just
2 guys.
throwing salt.
Yeah, it was 2 guys in the back of a truck just throwing handfuls of salt out, and I was crying laughing, and I said, "What do you think the chances are that that's table salt?"
High. As having lived in Atlanta, the chances are high. Yeah, I mean, it is comical, as we talked about last week, just how we are, and, honestly, I don't I don't foresee some people, though, I do feel bad about, like, I have a friend, I say mutual, you've met her, but, a friend in Nashville whose power is still out from last week, and so and
Oh,
she's got 2 kids,
yeah,
and,
yeah. I
like
mean, truly, and I
and they're getting hit again this time around, so
I have lived in places that don't know or don't have the infrastructure
the
to handle snow, and it really is I mean, if you're not used to it or you don't have snowplows or the setup, like, it really can be a big problem. Just like excessive heat is a big problem in certain places, you know? Like, you're better at heat than I am because this is warm, and I think that my skin might be melting off, so
well, with our skins melted off that one time, but, I mean, I think, yeah, in general, the I think I can handle humidity pretty well, and that it gets a lot of people. But
the humidity is what kills me
yeah,
every time.
it's what you're used to. Like my when I lived in Scotland, my parents were amazed at how good I was at navigating it being wet all the
All of
time.
the time, yeah.
Like and cold, but not this cold, but cold. So like I think
Yeah.
you just
I mean,
sort of
honestly, it is, like I I still remember when Heather Walton was in Denver for the first time, and she looked at me and said, "Do you just feel like this all the time?" Because she had altitude sickness, and I was like, "No."
it's funny, I didn't feel it the last time when we were in the suburbs.
You did, you had nausea.
No, my stomach felt a
That's part
certain way.
altitude sickness. Yeah, you can get that
But I didn't
way.
but I didn't my stomach felt upset the whole time. But, like, other than that, like, I didn't get but all the times I've been before, it was my brain.
Yeah. No, it can also do the stomach thing. You should be good though now. Your next trip, you're gonna be golden.
Well, I have
Have
to go
all the symptoms.
listeners, oh my god. So I'm at a real moral crossroads here because over the summer, I'm writing this book on conversion therapy, and so there is a big national convention happening
Yeah.
that I could go to and get a lot of information about this. It's taking place at just hold for applause, at, Focus on the Family
Uh-huh.
in Colorado Springs, which is
Little Strokes. Yeah.
where Christy's from.
Yes.
So and Christy's gonna be there during that
I
time.
am. I'm
I
gonna
mean,
be there during that specific literally, I'll be in Colorado Springs that week.
so I could actually just get you to infiltrate and to go on my path. 'Cause I know, but I don't wanna give them money. Yeah, mhm. But I don't wanna give them money or, like, promote this
I
conference.
know.
And I feel like I could get so much information.
I think we need to consult with Tim Whitaker and his
Oh, yeah, 'cause
infiltration
Sam goes
methods.
the
Tim
turning
the
point.
yeah, Turning Point stuff, so yeah.
I'm not sure you have to pay. I think the paying is what's getting
Yeah.
if I can just, like, sign up.
Go into the parking lot and just talk to people in the parking lot. That might be the worst idea I've ever had. Don't do that.
I do have a Southern accent, so they might think I'm on their side.
That is fair. Yes, they might.
I'd be like, "She came all the way from Georgia to come to
She's
school."
come from Georgia? She must be on our side. No.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's tough because this is the first time I've had it with this particular project, but I tend to choose really terrible projects
Yeah.
and
No, we both
like
have a
terrible,
tendency for the worst thing. Yeah.
yeah, like not like, bad.
Yeah.
Um, but even when I did my dissertation when I was in Northern Ireland, there was a lot of sort of moral questions I had to ask about people I interviewed and who I didn't, and like who wanted to talk to me and who I didn't, and who I did.
Yeah.
And looking back on that, I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. That was kind of stupid. But like, you know, if you're doing qualitative research, I think that it's always a question of there's so many ethics questions. And especially if you are not, ethics boards exist at universities. And of course, you have to go through them. Like I have to go for this book, have to go through them because you're representing a university, even if you're not in the book. And so you have to do that, but they're limited too and in what they can do. I've been on those boards and like if someone was like, I really need to go to Saudi Arabia to, study X, Y, and Z or journalism or something, I'd be like, like I had to sign a waiver at Edinburgh saying if I was gonna go do research in Northern Ireland that I took responsibility if I died.
Oh.
I was on their
Yeah.
watch lists. So it's like there so from the beginning, I've had these questions, and it's like how and I guess journalists do too, because it's a form of that in a way, is like,
Yeah.
how far is I feel like this is gonna lead into our topic, but like how far what's the line between getting information and, you know,
Support.
filling your soul, as it were, I
Yeah.
guess,
Or like putting yourself in a
in a dangerous position.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really good question. Um, I don't know that I have an answer for that because
I don't either, and that's sort of the summary of this is I don't think I know the answer, because all I know is I looked it up, and as soon as it said Colorado Springs, I was just like, "I'm going to
I
Colorado again."
like in there's a part of me, a really selfish part of me that's like, yes, because then I would be like, and also I'm going to show you around Colorado Springs. Like, we'll have a good
Bummer.
time
Like,
in the summer. You'll love it. It's June. It's great. But then also part of me is like, no, why would you do this? I think that
how much good
one of
information I could get from that, though.
yeah, like that's one of the things is like are you going as a kind of voyeur just to like, ooh, I'm gonna go and like hate watch these things or hate interview these people? Are you going for like a genuine, I'm looking for this information. This is a place that would be able to provide this and it would have in a project that you're doing that's good. Uh,
Yeah, no, it's
and
the
that,
sec it's the second, but I'm not gonna interview anybody, I would just listen.
yeah. And I think you know, I think that should always be at the back of your mind. And like you said, this is kind of leading into our topic of the day, but like, what is what is our actual motivation for engaging in conversations with people who disagree with us? Because a lot of times it's just that we want to look good or we want to like hate the other person. And
Yeah,
sometimes
I'm not an
because we
influencer.
actually want, yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I don't have, like, that I mean, of course, Christy and I are obviously influencers, but out with
yeah, we're very important.
are important. But I think for me, the reason is a very specific reason. So, 2 of the places that do 2 of the biggest places that did conversion therapy were called, Lemon Action and Exodus International. Exodus International shut, Lemon Action's pretty much defunct, but this is what's come out of that. So this is now a collective of all of the rest of these, and essentially they aren't necessarily institutions, but you can get trained to be a quote counselor or spiritual counselor or something. So this is a collection of the churches slash ministries slash nonprofits that participate in that have people that can do this type of pseudo psychological spiritual analysis or whatever
Yeah.
for XK stuff. So they've sort of pared it down to that. So what it would do is that, Exodus International shut, I think it was 2013, I think is when it shut, is in my brain. Because there were so many scandals, because so many people were like, this doesn't work, or,
Yeah.
they were getting married, the leaders. Um, and so, but I wanna know what they're doing now, and it's kind of hard. Their website's very good I mean, it's bad, but it's good in terms of information. So it's very rich with information.
Yeah.
But it would I always kinda like to see,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of good at, um, being a chameleon in that sense. So I think
Yeah.
that I just my theater major kicks back in,
Yeah.
my one semester theater major.
I mean,
Uh,
I don't know. I think there's a
I'm gonna see how much it is.
yeah. Well,
'Cause I'm not gonna I don't I if it's, like, above, like, $20, I'm not gonna give it. 'Cause I don't wanna that's the issue of supporting them. I don't wanna support them
so that part's hard.
to
Yeah.
talk about but I don't know that it's hate watching necessarily. I don't think I would call it that. I mean, I do hate it, but I think I want it to be accurate, and I think that's more it than
Well,
hate
yeah, I
watching.
mean, yeah, I guess, like I said, I feel like what the motivation is or what the desired outcome is an important part of this conversation, like, am I going for ethical reasons, I guess, for lack of another word that I can come up
I also
with.
need to
Like,
see what their need to see what
just
the laws are for this is how crazy, but researchers, this is what it is. I need to know if Colorado is a like a because North Carolina, you can record people without their consent.
ooh, I can tell you that. It is
Okay, tell me.
it's a one-person consent state, so you can record without telling the other person,
There you go.
and I
Which is
will show
weird.
you later why I
Okay. That's a story for another. I know that because of having to be in a bunch of unethical academic meetings at my previous institution where
very similar.
I would set the phone on the table and say, "Okay, what do you have to tell me?"
Yeah, no, I very similar situations, but
Yeah.
yes, and if it's a one person, so you could record things without asking, so,
Without consent. Okay.
yeah,
Well,
so
and that's a whole thing too. It's just so like, because I ethically don't necessarily agree with that. Like,
no, I know, I
that
also yeah,
you could
I
be
mean,
recorded,
it's very complicated, yeah. Well,
but it's when it benefits. So the topic for today that we were going to talk about does is actually very much weirdly we did not plan on going on
not saying
this
this
ethical journey,
yeah, it's very
but we wanted to talk. Mm. It is because there was a Jon Stewart of Daily Show fame. There was a reel that came out with him that was talking about that he uh Peretti, who just got killed, was his first name? Nick
Alex Pretty.
Alex.
Yeah,
Alex Pretty. Or Pretty? Pretty?
pretty I
Pretty?
don't know how to
In my head, it's Pretty. Um, so at the moment, there's all this stuff happening in Minneapolis. You have Renee Good, and now this that's happened, a murder that's happened to
yeah,
this person as well. And he was saying, the the institution, i.e., the government, wants you to think that, or the White House rather, wants you to think that he was brandishing a weapon, and in a way he was, because the weapon was, speaking of recording, was a cell phone, you know.
yeah,
And then he said it's the most powerful weapon and it's the scariest weapon for people who are trying to be oppressive. All of this conference, they should be totally okay with me recording every bit of it.
they should, and they
But I
should be
bet
willing to
they
release all
wouldn't
of it.
be.
Yeah.
100%, 100%. So it's one of these ideas of, he had the power of information that he was getting out to the world, and as the days have passed, we've heard a lot of religious rhetoric talking about this idea of, you know, why well, there's several things that have come out, but, like, much like the questions you were asking me, like, what's your goal with this stuff? Like, why would you do it? A lot of people questioning why was he there? Like, why was, Renee Good there? Like, why they're putting themselves in this position, which, of course, is victim blaming 101, um, but also this idea that, "Oh, well, they're in a better place now," and, you know, all this kind of stuff, and how, the NRA responses to some of this stuff is really interesting too, because 'cause they're having to toe a really big line here.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, really fascinating to watch the NRAs having to deal with this, but I mean, the time was coming, because
Yeah, I mean, long
yeah, the
past
time
because they've had to recognize
that
the hyp
we had to
the
stop
hypocrisy of their
pretending,
situation.
yeah, that we had to stop pretending that the alt-right is actually standing logically and without hypocrisy, but yeah, it does bring up this conversation, and I keep seeing it, which is one of the things that spurred on the 2 of us to talk about this, but I keep seeing it as this, desire for heaven or a belief that, things are messy right now, but heaven is gonna be great, and so it's okay. Um, we'll all get along, or someone I used to know used to say, or probably still says, that life is short, but eternity is long. And so, that this kind of concept, which is wildly unhelpful in the moment
Yeah.
and really
Well, and it's also the
divisive.
assumption that there's nothing there's the world their ideas to and I will say theologically, some spheres call this two-kingdom theology. I think I've heard it called other things too, and I don't know, maybe you're the systematic person, but that's what I've heard it called.
Yeah.
And
Me
it's a
too. Yeah.
but it's this idea too that, like, we don't have a purpose. What's our the world's messed up. We accept, original sin, whatever, the world's messed up. So all we have is to look forward to this glorious afterlife. And so the issue then becomes you get this rhetoric from religious people about, well, why would they do stuff the world's already messed up? Like, why would we try to, you know, why would you put yourself in harm's way for that for a world that doesn't care about you essentially or or will never
Or
be fixed?
yeah, or like, accept your fate, accept the lot you have in life, accept the government that you have, and just like follow the line, toe the line, because we know that this is corrupt and it's going to go away. And so there's no use. Or, I mean, even too at the kind of peak of his fame, Mark Driscoll used to say, drive the Hummer because God's going to destroy this world anyway. So it doesn't matter
Uh,
that you're,
is there asshole theology?
I,
Beyond bad theology, just in
this
this.
is just absolute asshole theology. But, uh, there are a lot of things because sometimes my friends that aren't Christians will come to me and say, like, how do I even deal with this question, or what am I supposed to think about this? Because for many of us who are in evangelicalism, we think that this is just how Christians think or how Christians believe, is that this world is temporary and it's going to go away and it doesn't matter what happens here because you're going to get a big mansion in heaven and you're going to live for eternity and glorious peace. And like, that's actually not historically the orthodox position of Christians anyway. But like, more than that, I think it dismisses Jesus and everything Jesus talked about. Um,
No big deal. No big deal.
which is a fair, yeah, it's a big problem. It dismisses Paul. Paul is concerned that, we care for the widows and the orphans, and he's concerned that we live well in this world, and it dismisses the prophets in, you know, the Old Testament Hebrew Bible that say care for the foreigner, care for the oppressed. Uh, and so,
Well, and I mean, it go ahead, sorry.
well, and I was just gonna say too that it also dismisses Genesis of God creating this world and saying that it is good, and then telling Adam and Eve to care for it. You know,
Yeah.
there's just a massive amount of evidence if we're gonna look at the Bible in this like kind of just biblical studies kind of way that God expects us to give a shit about this world and not to say drive the Hummer. It's gonna get destroyed.
When this is the basis of which I always think is interesting, why liberation theology gets criticized so heavily. Well, there's many reasons, but the idea that a lot of liberation theologians were fighting for the life that people had in this lifetime. And so they get accused of being Marxist, which I've talked about Marx a million times on here, but this idea of Marx isn't yelling at you for being religious. He's yelling at the people who have made it so you don't care that your life is crap
Yeah,
because you're just working your life away for people who don't care about you, who are, making your life literal hell
yeah,
because and for them to get something cheap or whatever. And so when we see liberation theology being called Marxist, it's really interesting or something being called communist or whatever. It's interesting because actually, a lot of the rhetoric I've said rhetoric so much this podcast. The sort of language that you I mean, I'm aware of it. Now, when you public speak and you're like, I've said this word.
oh no, I've said this word too many times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that one's in the bin. So, but you know what? The if you start to look at the words of Jesus, they ring very, very Marxist, and I
they
don't
do.
care what
Yeah,
people say about that. That is what it is. So this idea that you know this promise of an afterlife is what's getting you through the day to day. I would say there's nothing fundamentally wrong about that, unless you're being oppressed in this life by other
yeah.
people
Well,
who are also repeating that to you. Um,
I do think obviously it's nice and it's something to give us hope for. I think that living life hopefully is always better than living life in despair, and not just like as a placating kind of term, but like it makes you want to do things. It makes you get out of bed. It makes you, you know, feel like you have some sense of purpose. But and so if your hope is in heaven, then at least you have hope. There's that, right? Like there's something.
yeah, it
And
doesn't
now
take
that
that
we're
away.
yeah, I'm not yeah, I mean entirely. I hope for heaven all the time,
Oh, same.
I I have, a very strong desire for that to be real and true and present, but like at the same time, if your motivation, which kind of comes back to earlier, but if your motivation for saying things like do what you want now because this earth is going to go away, or don't care about the things that are happening now because you're going to get to go to heaven. Usually that's coming from a place of incredible privilege of saying, my life is
Yeah.
actually not so terrible right now, and I don't want to have to make it worse by caring about the suffering of others. And so I'm going to tell those people to just hope for heaven. And instead of hoping for a better current life, and working.
Well, because them not having a good life benefits you if
Yes.
you are in that privileged position. So, of course, you don't want them to rise up and
Yeah.
wow, demand a better life on this earth because then you're not going to get the
Well, it's
privileges
very
you get.
yeah, it's very uncomfortable to say, "You know what? Yep, this is bad and we have to fight against this," or, I have to make decisions that are inconvenient or even going to cause me some suffering, I think so I just saw this like an hour ago and I have not done any I saw it on the New York Times and then I came to this. So, like, please, this might be fake. I'm just I wanna
So, we like to give you hard-hitting, cutting-edge news here at Theology on the
hard cutting
Rocks.
edge news, but, like, I haven't had time to, like, actually look into this, but there's a video potentially showing that Alex pretty, uh, interacted with ICE a week prior to them killing him.
I will say I've also saw that video,
Oh,
so
so
we either both are fooled or
yeah, so
there's a video, whether it's real or not is another thing.
yeah. Either way, I think one of the comments that I read that really hit me, um, is true regardless of the video's authenticity, but, um, and it said, "So what you're saying is that Alex knew the violence of ICE and chose to defend that woman anyway." And that's exactly the point, to be and again, we all know how violent it's gotten and how violent, um, they've been. So anyone who has turned on a television or seen anything lately knows what they're doing if they're going to stand up against that. And um, for him to choose, I'm going to put myself in danger to help this woman indicates that he knows that it's important. And I don't know anything about him other than this incident. So, like, and that he was the, nurse and stuff, but like indicates that he knows that this life is important. And it's important to help other people in this life. And that's the most Christian thing I think I've seen in a minute of saying, like, I recognize that what I have been called to do is to hope for a better life now, even in the midst of me putting my life or my comfort on the line for it.
Yeah.
Uh,
And the thing is, Alex and Renee will both be remembered as people who were sacrificed, and they shouldn't have to,
so
I should add,
this should never
but
have
who
gotten to this point.
they should not have gotten to this point, but who did put themselves in between danger and their fellow human, and
Yeah.
that's a really big position to take, and I think it absolutely shouldn't have gotten to this point, but again, I mean, you have Jesus if you're, the greatest thing what you lay down your life for your friends, like,
Yeah.
that's
And that's exactly it. And what example of we're talking all the time, we hear Christians say all the time, I want to be Christ-like. What did Christ do?
yeah.
He died.
And I do wanna emphasize be careful, like, the
Oh,
Renee and Alex should still be alive, like, that's not it's not saying be I feel like we've said this the past couple weeks, being it's not saying go and throw yourself on the sword or anything, it is just it's acknowledging that this world does matter, and that actually these people matter, like, that
will
little
matter. Their
that
lives
kid,
matter.
Liam kid, when I saw his little, uh like, that's a human.
As a human and two, and like the updates about him have been crushing.
Yeah.
And recognizing too that like we've gotten here because we've turned a blind eye to what's been going on and what's building. Um, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement was only 5.5 years ago, and it should have been more impactful. It should have made stuff like this end back then. But we just keep acting like, oh, it's over now.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
I
America's fine.
UTA movement as well. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, well, and then like, and this is repeated so frequently in human history because we keep forgetting to care for people.
yeah, and
We keep,
the fact that you're calling them, the almost did it again. The language again around, some of this stuff is really interesting. So, like, calling them rioters instead of protesters so that they're not covered by the Constitution is such, backdoor dealings when you're talking about people because the thing is that we saw rioters. They attacked Capitol, like, we saw it,
they broke it.
we know what that difference is. They were stealing desks and,
They were
you know
they had a They had a noose ready for Mike Pence, like, that was a
What,
riot.
climbing walls, and it's like and also it's the Capitol. We have a right to peaceful assembly, whether you like it or not, and I have a lot of thoughts about it. By all accounts that I've read, Alex had a right to carry, and that's why the NRA is
Absolutely.
nuts because he has a right to carry a gun.
He has a right to carry a
He
gun.
I mean, and should he have that's those are other questions, but if you're gonna ask questions about whether you should bring a gun to a protest, then that you're opening a whole can of worms because there were some guns at that quote protest at the
Yep.
Capitol and that other what was that kid? I don't even want to give him a name.
No,
But they had that machine
narrative
gun.
that brought that
Yeah.
gigantic gun and killed people and then got praised as a hero, so, like,
Yeah, got praised as a hero. So the logic just isn't logicking right now. And I feel like we're doing mental gymnastics. And I say we very loosely. We as in the administration is doing mental gymnastics in order to stay in the public's good graces. I think the public is seeing through it, the ones that will, you know?
well, you know what, it is. I will say, I have seen some very encouraging things about how much backlash has been happening, even amongst some of the Republican politicians. And again, I'm not gonna say because I don't know, I haven't, like, vetted this information, but certain Republican senators seem to be unwilling to vote along party
Oh,
lines,
you wanna
which
hear the most annoying thing is one of those senators is Tom Tillis, and I will name him. He is our
no,
Republican senator.
he's been, like,
Oh,
in the news for reasons I'm not mad about, and it is
oh,
upsetting.
he's retiring, Christy.
Well, that's the thing is that I've actually seen this with a couple of them who aren't running again, they're retiring, and now they all of a sudden have a conscience, and I'm like, "Get out of here." Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna say this real quick because I read this book, it was a fine book, it's not worth, like, recommending, but one of the things in the book was that there was this sheriff in the town who'd been, like, doing terrible things and harassing everybody, blah, 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 and, and then he gets diagnosed with cancer, and he does this, like, apology tour, and he's trying to right all of his wrongs and stuff, and they keep saying over and over, like, this is just because he's afraid of going to hell, and, like, that's how I'm feeling about what's going on with some of these retiring senators is that they're like,
Oh, you should like,
I'm so
people that
like, Mitch McConnell, "Get out of here, Mitch McConnell, this is your fault. This is on you," you know?
Tom Tillis was absolutely a MAGA person until he announced his retirement, and then all of a sudden, his ass is everywhere being like, "This is horrible," and we're like, "Where were you?"
Yeah.
Like, he gets made fun of on SNL in the Kavanaugh trial as he's being so just look for the guy that has an insane Southern accent because he's being so blatantly racist, and it's like, "Okay, cool."
Well, and I don't want this to sound like, if you look, if you have been
I
MAGA
know, confirmation, I should say, not trial.
if you have been MAGA and you've changed your mind and you're like, "You know what? I've been wrong," I welcome you with open arms. If this is the day that you've realized that this has gone into really terrible territory and you're like, I'm happy to have you. But again, it comes back to that motivation, and I don't trust the motivation of the politicians. So, like,
I mean, he has nothing to lose, he's not coming back.
yeah, like, average everyday person who's like, "Ooh, whoops, I made a mistake. Happy to have you. Please, let's have a dinner. Let's have a sit down. I'll buy you a drink." Mitch McConnell is not getting a drink from me.
Tom Tillis is not getting a drink from me. I mean, and there's so much shade. I mean, he was there during all the redistrict and no. And I get it because you get to go out with being on the right side of history, but
It's too
what does your legacy say? Like, that's not
I
your legacy. I mean,
it's not
and I
because you're not Schumer. Like, you have not subverted the system. Like, you're just now being like, "Oops, oops,"
Yeah,
you know?
I have nothing to lose. So I will say, one of the things too about I know that, um, ICE is coming back to Charlotte again. Um, and one thing I will say is I think we really need to rally around these cities. They are just gonna I won't say how, I know because it's depressing, but I know that they're going to Maine and Charlotte. That is apparently what the word on the street is, and I think it is important to rally around the cities and to really, like, support them and to keep filming, even if you don't wanna go keep filming, um
Filming is because there was a man who was killed on the border of Arizona recently, but no one filmed it, and so we don't know what happened. Uh, and I feel like this is one of those situations where we really need hard evidence. We need as many people filming, just film it.
and just I never thought we would have to say this, but just know that it's really dangerous out there, I think, and, there is no part of me that wants them back here. But I mean, and I have to question it. It's much less like going to this conference, although of course this is more dangerous. But it's one of those things where I'm like, what am I going to actually do? Like this next time? Like, if this happens, what am I going to do? And what are potentially the consequences of that?
Mhm. I think, we talked about this last week, but there's a ton of resources. So if you're like, "I don't know how to help these cities," or "It's my city and I don't know what to do," there are places that you can go that can tell you how to help and specifically to what your skills and comfort are, like, not comfort, but, like, you know, capable.
Well, I mean, Stuart's a new citizen and maybe won't feel as comfortable going to protests.
Fair, yeah. I mean,
That's
yeah.
fair enough.
I
There's other
know.
stuff too.
Yeah, we are citizens right now who should just be laying low, frankly, but
Well, honestly, the
there's
arguments are that we should because of the way they're acting, we should all be laying low, and that should tell you exactly what they're trying to do here. Like,
yeah.
that's exactly it. It's the
Like,
fear.
keep
It's
up
telling
and we're gonna keep posting stuff as we see, like, resources and stuff that is helpful and, things that we're supporting in terms of, like, do this, I know there is a lot of stuff that we can help with, legal aid. If you're looking to donate to stuff, legal aid is a great way to do that. Places where lawyers can help because I mean, it feels like the law of the land is chaotic right now, but there are still ways to help people legally. Um,
well, and the law of the land is chaotic. I mean, I think you know, Congress is wrestling with a bill right now to try to not fix, but try to limit some of the powers that ICE has, and the president's saying things like, "I don't really care," and I think it's one of the things where we are living in a or he said, "We'll change it we can change administration," but,
but that's like
whatever
it's a Band-Aid. I mean,
Band-Aid us all
we got rid of the guy who was wearing a Nazi cosplay, but
You really did.
I mean, well,
The first time I
here, wait. I'm just gonna be hon I saw this on Jon Stewart too, but, like, I've seen it a couple the way he pronounces Gestapo is, like, the biggest red flag.
I haven't heard that.
He pronounces it like he's trying to be German. Like,
No. Well,
yeah, he gives it an accent when he says it, and it's like, "Nope, that's not what we do. We don't you don't need to." It's like if we're pretending that, like, when you go to a restaurant, you order a croissant, but you're kind of an asshole, so you say, like, croissant, you know? This is what he was doing.
I mean, I haven't do that when I go to Mexican restaurants because but my reasoning is because I feel so bad because I'm so dumb.
I
They're speaking English to me, and I'm just struggling with quesadilla. Uh,
I have, my friends here are all Latina, and there have been a number of times when I've gone to a restaurant with them that is Mexican or some kind of, uh, Hispanic food or what have you, and they all order in Spanish because that's their first language, and then I'm like, "Uh, can one of you order
I'd like a quesadilla. I'd like a quesadilla. Well, can I get a chicken quesadilla?
Yeah, like, "Can I get a quesadilla?" I don't it's
But then I also feel real stupid saying, like,
humiliating.
everything I order involves pollo. Pola is in everything. Yeah. But for me to in my accent to say the word "polla" feels insane. Like, it feels like I've gone to the crazy lands. So, yes. So, yeah.
It's embarrassing.
But, like, adopting a German accent so you sound more German when you're talking about the Gestapo,
Is a
it's
terror.
not the same as feeling bad you don't know the language of the people who are making your
Feeding you.
food.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
no, I mean, it's like it's just a neon sign flashing
Can you imagine if you went on a date with somebody and they showed up
where
dressed like that and they started saying that in that accent?
immediately I would pretend that I wasn't who I am. I'd be like, I don't that's not my name."
Would the outfit alone be enough to get you to
Yeah,
just go to that
100%.
area?
I would walk
Yeah.
"Look, I have a fake name. It's all ready to go." So I would just be like, "Oh, no, my name is this. I'm my" like
One, I had a fake name too when I was dating. This is so embarrassing. I can't believe I'm telling this to the world. But um, you know what my name was when Stuart first met me? It was Scarlett Catherine. Scarlett like O'Hara. Catherine is in, I guess, my mom, but not. I I even had an email that was Scarlett
Scarlett
Catherine.
Catherine email is the
Mhm.
best. I can't believe I'm just learning this right now.
You and everybody else.
This
And so he called me for a while. Like, he would say Scarlet to the point where I had to say, "That's not actually my name." It's, like, not even really close to my name at all. It's the name of a fictional Southern character. He's actually British. Um, but he would if I really, really wish that I still had the, like this is kind of before screenshots and all that, but if I wish I'd had the capture of him just calling me Scarlet all the time.
That's amazing.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is a fantastic
I was on the same train, I would have been like, "Scarlet's out.
bye.
Email me if you want."
This is a fun anecdote to end. So we're ending on a happier note, but one night a bunch of girls and I went out. This was many, many years ago. We had a girls' night out and we decided for the night we would all adopt fake names and see how long it took for men to realize that they were not our real names and they were all flowers. Each of us was a flower. So like,
That made me would be a wreck. Yeah,
well, you would think that
I would.
group of 8 girls all have a flower name would clue a guy in. It took the whole night before we finally
It's almost like they didn't
uh,
care about your name, Christy.
the very
I
last
said it's
time.
almost like they didn't care about your name.
They did
Name wasn't the
they weren't listening, they weren't paying attention, no. The very last guy that we, because this was back, it was back we were 20s, 20-something-year-olds. This is when people still bought each other drinks at bars and stuff and, like, action, right, and back in the day, and so we had the last guy that had bought us around asked our names, and we said, and he goes, "So those are fake?" And we were like, "Fine."
Oh, you listened. And I married that man.
And then we married yeah, no, we collectively married him.
We all the flowers collectively married.
Flowers. We were like, "You get your"
Yeah, the whole bouquet. Yeah, the whole bouquet is yours. Um, I mean, yeah, I'm not shocked about that, but that is insane.
It
Why would you not take a different were you trying to prove a point or were you just
Yep.
drunk?
No, it was on purpose. We wanted to see how long
Oh,
we got them to put it together. Yeah.
that's depressing.
It was. Well, and also, like, we thought it would be immediate. We genuinely thought that it would be, like, a quick, they'll think it's funny, and then it was all night. It
Well, I thought presenting myself as Scarlett from Georgia, USA,
You're
would
lucky
be enough.
he probably, he doesn't have that just, like, cultural zeitgeist right there. That's
It's
amazing.
Gone with the Wind. I mean, no, I'm sure I'm much closer to it because I had to watch that movie, uh, with my granddad when I was, like, 12. So, like, I get that, but I know,
I've seen that
you
movie
know,
countless times. Look,
doesn't hold up.
it is not a great movie in terms of racism. It's pretty bad.
Huh.
But in terms of
So,
action, A plus plus.
A plus plus. I mean, in terms of how it looks, like,
The look
at
and
the looks,
the Rhett Butler
oof,
is real
Clark
good.
Gable. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah. The fact that she was obsessed with Ashley
it's
and Clark Gable
ridiculous.
is near
Cars
is
Clark Gable is there wanting to be married
he
to
just,
her.
like,
She's like, "Ashley." No.
Ashley. Also,
Man's name is Ashley.
they really should have I'm assuming everyone's dead from that film. But also, like,
Spoiling Gone with the Wind, it's fine.
oh, and well, you know, it's like the 50s or something, isn't it? So, but, also, why did they not there was plenty of, like, dashing men. That's, like, the height of these dashing men. Why did they put that actor as Ashley? Because no one would believe that. Oh, he's so quiet and introspective and likes poetry, and it's Clark Gable. What do you
Right?
mean?
I know. This
Like,
is there were other, like, get Robert Redford in there. He's
100.
hot.
Burt Reynolds, maybe?
Burt Reynolds.
He's probably too young.
I mean, oh my god, there's so many hotties back then that you could have been like,
That's what I'm saying, like, put him in a suit and give him they all had fake Southern accents anyway. It wasn't like anyone's gonna be offended. It's like Braveheart. Wasn't like you went in thinking this was gonna be authentic.
right?
Give him give him a suit and an accent and tell him he was with the Confederate Army. I believe it.
I it's like the failure of that movie, one of the many.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure that the casting of Ashley is really what was, the most upsetting about Gone with the Wind. I believe their tagline was, "It's a culture gone with the wind." What it should have been, "It's a culture rightfully gone with the wind."
It's a culture we needed to get rid of.
It's a culture that should have had a hurricane come and take it away, but, a culture lost,
A culture
forever gone with the wind. Yep,
so funny. Okay,
yep.
we have an announcement to make on this
You
ending,
do?
is that we're a part of a podcast group now,
Yeah,
which
we do actually.
Leah's already been part of because it's systematic analogies.
I am
Work. But
that's not an avatar.
I don't even look, if we're talking about words I don't know how to pronounce, I don't know how to pronounce.
And it's out.
Nope.
And there.
That is our podcast. Yeah.
That's how Joshua Knoll says it, and he's from South Carolina, so I'm going to trust that is
I,
how I say it.
I'm gonna trust that too. But it is a group of engaging podcasts. So we're excited
Okay.
about it. We're on the website.
Are we?
We are just as of like moments ago. Uh,
Oh,
this is all
I'm
very,
recording.
we know nothing about what we're doing, but we're excited about it. And we
We are.
wanted to,
We are because I will say there's a lot of our favorites are on that network,
yeah.
and they told us basically we wouldn't have to change anything, which was really key. But also
Our only question was, do we have to do anything else? Because we're not going to.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And they're not deeply I remember when, my favorite murder moved to, like what did they move to, some
They
network
started
or
a
something?
podcast network.
Oh, yeah, exactly right. It maybe wasn't them. No, they moved to Spotify, I don't know. Anyway, something was problematic, and that's not this.
No, that's not
We're
this.
still the same.
We've not sold out. Uh, this is really
No, we it's for help with, well,
we
it's partnership and also because we like these guys. So
yeah,
you got, people like you've heard us talk about Will Rhodes, heard us talk about, Joshua Knoll, as I said, and,
and TJ,
people like
are
EJ. Yeah.
partner in crime, for the humor pod. So yeah, like
Also, next week, we're gonna have another, Anna Zhao podcast. Um, we won't spoil it because we're not
we're
gonna
having
be
the hosts of a podcast called Your Matter Matters, and it's
spoiling it.
Rose, his newer podcast with Thomas, and I don't know Thomas's last name, but we're so well prepared for this moment. Uh, but we're
I
gonna
didn't
have
even know what you were announcing, but I was there for you.
what they do. Well, it was because I got the email and I was like, oh yeah. It popped up as we were chatting. But yes,
Not that Christy would be looking at emails while she's podcasting me.
no, they just like they pop up on my iPad. So it was on a notification. I don't read them ever, obviously. No, we're
Clearly.
gonna have
Clearly you did that.
gonna have
Yeah, that psychic she's got that psychic connection with with them already.
Joshua Knoll and I are on a wavelength that Leah and I clearly were not on when she asked me about the horse hat staple.
Yep. I did it again last night on something else. And I think maybe I'm just on my way to Senileville. I'm not sure. And it's okay.
It's fantastic. But yeah, but so we're really excited. There's almost literally anything that you will notice is nothing other than that you can find us in a new place and
I do want us to have music,
we'll have
which is
better sound.
exciting.
I know there
Yeah.
might be an intro music. We're gonna look into it. And then
This is how we imagine the music will be.
I just
So,
feel
yeah.
like so it's gonna be nice because then we're not just like you press play and it's just immediately us screeching. There's gonna be like a minute for you to adjust. I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of dig not having a
It's not gonna
you
be
just
whatever it is, it's not gonna be long because we don't like that.
you just go in full force. So, but yeah, we're really
Just
excited and thanks for that. Thanks you.
what if our intro music is just the two of us going, "Ah,"
Actually, I think we should record us doing the
I think
and let that be the intro.
yeah, I'm here for it. Josh, help us do that. So that's the new plan. I'm
I love that we're saying it would be crazy if I lived with an IT person that could do this stuff.
Stuart.
But wait,
Record
I
us
do.
singing. It's gonna be our new intro music. I'm here for it.
Record us singing do.
Do, do.
And hopefully it doesn't sound like any other dudes or we're gonna have to pay royalties. On that note,
There. On that note, we'll see y'all next week.
see ya. Bye.